Welcome back to the channel, guys. So before we get started, remember, get me up to 1,000 subscribers. Subscribe to the channel, doesn't cost you anything. Making a lot of content, pretty decent videos. Still got some work to do and some way to go, but I'm working on it. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, whoever subscribed to the channel, turns on notifications will be entered to win a free NFL jersey as the first giveaway. That in mind, I was getting this video. It's on the Indianapolis Colts. So you got Stephon Gilmore, you got Matt Ryan. Talks about possibly bringing T.Y. Hilton back. You got a good offensive line. You need a tackle. You've got some picks, don't have a ton. Questions now, will Chris Ballard focus on the offense with a pretty solid defense? You did lose Rocky Sin, but you got a pass rusher and Yannick Ngakoue from the Raiders. You got Stephon Gilmore, of course. So you got some players on that team, on the defense. Gus Bradley comes in, new system. Who knows? I think it could work. Big difference between this year and last year. I know not everybody's a fan of Matt Ryan. I like him a lot better than most. He has not had a ton of talent surrounding him the last few years since the Super Bowl in Atlanta. They have just kind of dwindled down to nothing at the talent pool in Atlanta his last few years there, and he's had to carry the whole load. He will not have to do that here, especially if they draft some more talent. They've already got a pretty good stud receiver. They've got some young guys. Health's going to be a concern, but their offensive line's good. One of the best guards, one of the best centers in the league. Could use some help at tackle, but they'll address that one way or another. They've got some picks, but I think the big difference is going to be Matt Ryan and the leadership he brings to the table. And one key note on that, the last few years, Matt Ryan was in Atlanta. A stark contrast to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was always throwing people under the bus, kind of poor me, feel sorry for me. I should be pampered more, so on and so forth. Matt Ryan always put the blame on himself, kind of like a Tom Brady and those kind of guys, Pat Mahomes, Peyton Manning. He's one of those type of guys that just puts it on his shoulders, and team plays well, then it was team. If team plays bad, then it was him. That's just how he rolls. Doesn't make excuses. Plays through injuries. Just a great leader and a great quarterback. Very underrated quarterback. He's got the arm strength still. Doesn't have the mobility of Carson Wentz or Russell Wilson. One thing he will not do, he will not put you in a bad situation. If he's got enough talent around him, he will not try to do too much. He will check down to his running back, to a fullback, to a third, fourth, fifth option receiver, to an offensive lineman if he has to. Tight end, doesn't matter. He'll make the proper read more times than not. He will not cost you games. I think he gives the Colts another 2 to 3 wins, more than Carson Wentz could give them. Because Carson Wentz's problem is he tried to do too much of the time. Matt Ryan's not going to do that. He knows it's a team game. He's smart enough. He's been in the league long enough. He wants one more chance to win a Super Bowl. He knows this is his last shot. He's not going to play like Brady till he's 44 probably. So he's going to give it his all to get this team focused, oriented on winning a Super Bowl now, which is what this team is mostly built to do. They add some offensive weapons and whatnot. They can really do it with this guy under center. They got a great running back as well, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, stud receiver. Add a stud tight end. You can get a Trey McBride and add him in there. This team's going to be dangerous. Bring T.Y. Hilton back as another receiver. Paris Campbell stays healthy and displays what people thought he was a couple years ago. This team's going to look a lot different. And Matt Ryan, one thing you don't have to worry about him compared to Carson Wentz is him being available. He does not get hurt. He does not get nicked up and injured as often. Not even close to what Carson Wentz has been throughout his career. Yes, he's older, but he doesn't have the injury history that Wentz has. He's been in the league longer, more consistently, and just doesn't have an injury history. And whatever he has had, he's been able to play through. So there's toughness there mentally and physically. Especially mentally, something Carson Wentz did not display very well at the end in Philly and at the end in Indianapolis. And look, I like Carson Wentz. I wish him well. He's got one more shot, I believe, with the Commanders. Hopefully he takes advantage of it. And who knows? They got a pretty talented team down there in D.C./Maryland, wherever. The owner's trash, though, so, yeah. As far as the Colts, the owner's not quite patient. He's a little flaky. The coach, pretty good, Thought higher of him before than I do now, but we'll see. Defense got some stud players. This team's going to be pretty stout and ready to compete. You're not in a tough division. Yeah, you got the Jaguars. We'll see what happens with Peterson and company. You got the Texans. Lovie Smith, third go around as head coach. Your greatest competition is the Titans, and they're just as limited at quarterback as you are. A little more mobile and all, but not quite as accurate. Still takes too many chances. But got a good head coach, good quarterback. Your biggest competition right now is the Titans, with the Jaguars and Texans bringing up the rear, but improving. So this won't be a easily winnable division for long. A couple years or so. All 4 of these teams are going to be pretty competitive, so better get it while you can, because the window will be closing soon with Trevor Lawrence and Davis Mills if they keep progressing and their teams keep getting better. But I like the Colts. I mean, you could pick Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle. Maybe Evan Neal, Ike Ekwonu, Charles Cross. Maybe they fall to you. Tyler Lindenbaum. Zion Johnson. Kenyon Green. You could go anywhere there. Offensive line. Receivers. Chris Olave. Treylon Burks. Trey McBride at tight end, even though I probably wouldn't do that until second round. But you could trade up into the first. It's hard to say. You could go defense. If Trayvon Walker or George Karlaftis are still there and you want to trade up to get them, wouldn't have a problem with that. I think they're going to make good decisions. They got their quarterback now. Maybe they draft a young quarterback to groom behind Ryan. It'd be a great guy to learn behind, so who knows. But I really like this team to make a push for the playoffs at minimum, and their ceiling could be Super Bowl. But we'll see what happens in the draft this week, and among other things, and training camp and injuries and all that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.